Good morning. I'm Dr. R.SUADROLI, Assistant Professor, Department of History, St.Joseph Arts and Science College, Cuddalore. Today my topic is Development of Labor Movement. Subject, History of U.S.A. up to 1866 to 2000 AD. The industrialization and the mechanization which took the place of United States between the 1845 to 1900, because the particular period, the rise of the industrialization and mechanization, because of big business of the monopolies. The big business and manufacture must more profit and reduce their wages of the labor and increase of their working times in more overtime and appointed and dismiss of the laborers at the mills or industries and factories. The concern of the large number of the laborers at one places due to rise of the big corporation further helped them act of unity. The American citizen did not favor of the trade unions because the more than capitalists were supported of the people. The trade unions because interfered with the rights of worker to bargaining of the wages and the own with the employers. The combination of the business and was approved. The combination of labor was commanded. On the same ground of the government aid of industries was approved, but the same to the labor not concerned was a surrender of the industries. The post-civil war of the period, the labor movement became the strong national character because unity of the strength of labor movement. And the development of the better means and the communication of rise of big business at the same time, the union was given the national character. The main factors which printed with the United States, the rise of the corporation, mechanization of industry, and bad working conditions. The rise of corporation. With the rise of the big corporation, the persons of the relationship between the employers and the employees was rendered off the completely broken. The directors who looked the corporation are having any direct contact with labor and labor workers, and consequently could not look after their welfare further. The manufacturer of the spare interested in producing profited for stockholders only and promoting rights and interests of the workers. As a result of this, workers began to the feel that they must protect the interests of themselves. The mechanization of industry. With the mechanization of industry, the important skilled labor was greatly reduced because the huge expenses, wages was increased, and his skilled person is not profited of the factory owners. So the skilled laborers, the concernedly they greatly reduced in the industry. Some same job could now the performed by the non-skilled laborers were available in the pantry. As a result of the employees who treated with the laborers of linked, consequently laborers felt that organized themselves to protect their jobs as bad working condition. At the same time, the rise of the big business and factories and industries promoted of the region of the U.S.A. territories, but because a bad working condition prevailing the American law and duty also contributed growth of labor movement. Because the main reason, after Civil War, the wages for labor were not increased, and according to rapidly growing cost of living of the every goods and materials, the further had to work were 10 to 12 hours day and factories neither properly light nor ventilated. So many difficulties are faced laborers and workers community people. It's not proper ventilation, light and fan and safety mission is not given to the capitalists, and employers made to on effort to protect our workers against the dangers of the missionaries Sometimes he was disease and was died. And many parts of the human body was lost. So nor was there was any provision and compensation against do not injuries. Nobody compensation of the capitalist in the weaker section. And thereafter the workers of the realized they must protect themselves by the forming of the nation-wide of unions, the social reforms. Rapid urbanization and also lead to creative evil like the slums and poverty, classes of the conflict, etc. The slum problem. The enormous increase of the city population because the more villages people he was migrated to the city. The increase of the population is not dwelling place is not available. The city population retained the problem of accommodation returned to the creation of the facilities and taking the full advantages of license of the fire doctrine, the business design to the houses with the view the getting the maximum rent of the tenants, the increase of the maximum rent and the tenants. The workers that face the many problem. The initiative as a direction to the improve the meditation of the workers was taken by the social workers like the John Adams, Lenin Wald. They was set up the settlement house to the slums of the great cities. It an attempt to the relief at the same time the accumulation of one of the end of the society and the sanitation at because the public health problem that is sanitation problem because many people was a settlement that is a drainage side public open places. So because the sanitation problem and other problem was created and prohibition is alarmed the growing rate of the crime because the many people the illegal activities because of plunder, robbery, crime activities the increase at the time of the period. The reforms that felt the demand drum was chief causes of the growing rate of crime. For it and the made an effort and the end of the consumption of the people. Though the beginning of the direction and the prohibition signed made the before civil war when the thousands of the people aged pledge abstain from the alcohol in the port. However, the consumption of the beer and the liquor were considerably increased of the entire places of U.S.A. The limited law enacted the regulated sale of liquor were freely violated. In 1859, the prohibition, the party unformed this purpose, but the proved the ineffective, the more the valuable effect of this regard. And women's suffrage. The women had not been given to any economic and legal rights before 1865 because the crushed the women society and because after the 1865 is totally changes of in American history because women movement was started now. They were considered inferior to the man. Even before outbreak of the civil war, the movement was enfranchisement of the women had been started, but without success. A president was crushed, was carried the secure bolt for both. By the close of the century, more and more women were permitted to vote in the local election only, the specially relation with the discuss of the school matters only. And the state women took a lead and granted unrestricted of the suffrage to women until 1869. The industrialization and urbanization. The large number of the women was joined the business. That more than people was studied. That getting the opportunity of industrialization and urbanization. The women joined the college of large number of the people was entered the professional course only selected of the women because he law and medicines and organized the women clubs. In all the forecast of the increasing freedom of the women. However, they had to wait till 1920 when they were enfranchised on equal terms of with man and women. Thank you.